Devastation coming out with the Heart of Thorns expansion for Guild Wars 2. And to walk us through, we've got Mr. Carl McLean on. You guys are probably pretty familiar with this guy. We have him on fairly often.
How's it going, everyone?
Can't respond back.
Oh.
Hopefully you're doing well. So anyways, talking about the new Guardian Elite spec, Dragonhunter. Pretty cool stuff. So you guys have seen the blog, you guys have seen the video. You kind of got a rough idea of how it works, but today we're going to be giving you an in-depth look at the skills, all of the new virtues. We're going to be looking at the new traps, and we'll also be doing a full rundown of all of the traits.
Yeah.
So in the interest of time, because we also want to get in game a little bit here later and just do some live gameplay. I've got a pretty sweet build that actually Tirza came up with. Yeah. Which is pretty amazing, so I want to give a little demo of that, but pretty excited about the new spec.
Tirza's always got good builds
the
coming out there.
Tirzanator. Anyway, so pretty exciting stuff. Like, I'm actually having a lot of fun with the new spec here, so I want to jump in and play it. Anyway, so let's just talk about the Dragonhunter and give kind of an overview.
Dragonhunter here, he's kind of he's after the dragons, but he's also after, like, every one of their ilk. Anything that they've spawned, he's the Dragonhunter, I would say he's a little bit less trusting than they used to be, being that the dragons have converted Sylvari into enemies. The dragon hunter's out to find everything that the dragon has created and destroy it. So
yeah, the phrase I keep hearing you guys toss around is kind of the same idea of like a medieval witch hunter, very righteous in their endeavors, but they.
The practices might be a little bit,
they're walking the line,
different from what they used to be.
Walking the line between, I don't know if good and bad is the right way to say it, or light and dark, but there's a fine line that they're walking in, the search of their prey that they're kind of having to manage. So kind of a cool element there, and definitely some new interesting gameplay with Guardian that we've never seen before. And I guess everyone in chat's probably just going, please, Josh, shut the hell up. So in the interest of that...
That's what I'm saying.
Damn it, Carl. Damn it, Carl. In the interest of that, let's just go ahead and jump in and start talking about some of the new virtues.
All right. Let's jump on into the video here. All right. First off, we have the Spear of Justice. You're going to throw your spear instead of actually activating it now to apply AoE burn. And your spear is going to tether your enemy. It's going to burn them every second that it's attached. Right now, the spear... when you throw it onto an enemy, it lasts for 10 seconds. So that's...
And we see a little piercing action there.
It pierces all enemies that it touches. The tether actually breaks if you reaches beyond a certain distance, so it's about 900 distance right now. If you go beyond that, then the tether breaks.
All right, so a little bit of counterplay there. So if you get tethered by a Guardian with the Spear of Justice, you can just try to disengage, break the chain, and then you can jump back into the battle there.
And it does work with other traits that would restore your justice. So you can actually activate your justice. Oh, there we go. Here's the next one. All right, Wings of Resolve. You're going to leap to a target area and activate your resolve in an area.
So the main idea with these is that the passive effect is still the same.
Yep. You're going to have the same passive effect.
But all of your actives now become different utilities here. So this is very similar to the old Virtue Resolve, but now you actually have a leap that's added to it, so you can jump into the action, pop it off, and get some healing off onto your allies.
Yeah.
All right, and this third one actually is one of my favorites.
Yes, this is your Shield of Courage, where you're going to block attacks for enemies standing within the shield itself. I'm going to show it again here pretty quick. It's fairly straightforward, and you are exposed from your flanks. Your allies are not going to want to stand to your side. You're going to want to position yourself.
Okay, so you actually you can't really tell right because now, the golem's not doing an animation, but he's looks like rapid fire. Yeah.
At him.
So anyway, so you can block all projectiles with that, but it's still, when you use the activation there, you get the AoE Aegis as well.
AoE Aegis still occurs.
All right, cool. So the playstyle with these is drastically different than what you do with them now.
And we're still playing with what it blocks. Right now, I think it's attacks and projectiles. So it's something we're still playing with.
Very important note you've just touched on there, Carl, is that all of this stuff, while the mechanics are fairly in place, the actual balance of these things are still kind of in flux as we playtest these, get a bit more internal feedback on them, and as we get some external feedback now that you guys are seeing exactly what's going on here, things will probably change. There's a lot of cool stuff on this thing. We'll show later that some of it might be a little bit too strong right now, but it's always good to start out strong and then adjust it from there. So you want to jump into weapon skills?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we got another video here for the weapon skills. And again, guys, we're going to show some live gameplay here in a bit, but for now, we're just going to go through these Oh, I forgot to mention.
Puncture shot.
Well, in the top right, you can see the tooltips. This
Yes.
is why we did videos, so you guys can see the tooltip as we're doing it.
All right.
Fancy technology.
So puncture shot is your basic auto attack. You're going to strike an enemy. If there's an enemy behind them, it will bounce. If this attack hits 2 targets, it will cripple them. Both
and
targets.
it cripples the first target and the second.
You don't get a cripple unless you hit 2 targets with this.
Okay, we see that there. So he only had 1 target, so no bounce, no cripple. So incentivized, and it's got a pretty wide attack angle on it as well, actually.
Yeah, it's a standard melee style of radius. The next shot is your basic large not basic by any means. It's a large damage attack for the longbow. It's got a very small cooldown. It's like 4 seconds right now, and you're going to have to post up for about 3/4 of a second, and then you get to launch a gigantic arrow.
But these guys can see the tooltip in the top right there. Look at the damage. Now, it's just your basic damage with that there. Now, there's a lot of things we're going to see later. They're going to modify this damage here, but kind of the drawback of having that huge damage is that you will be slightly, stuck in place for a short time during the cast. So it's got a decent animation there, but again, when you land that shot,
next time
it's huge.
We've got to go on the video here. We have deflecting shot. Here it goes.
I'm glad you interrupted me for the
yes. So this is actually this is a defensive mechanism for the longbow. You're going to block projectiles that come toward you, and then blind enemies that this projectile strikes. So
is that it?
That is basically it. So here you're going to see a fireball. It just gets snuffed by this shot, and it's really cool because you can aim this between your allies and actually block projectiles for them. Like you see an overcharged shot coming and somehow manage to predict it, be able to shut that down pretty quick.
All right, symbol.
Symbol. You're going to be able to launch a symbol onto in an area. This is kind of different because Guardians don't normally get to ground target their symbols other than with staff, generally, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This symbol itself gives vigor to allies, and actually on impact it burns enemies. Other than that, has all some basic symbol mechanic to it. And let's see, I think it goes on to the final one here.
Yeah, the final skill is actually really cool to me. The white picket fence.
Yes.
And it was in the video, I think, too. So this isn't anything new, but the actual mechanics of it are really interesting, I think.
Yeah. So you're going to barrage an area with your light arrows, and at the end of it, you're going to actually form a fence around enemies in the area, up to 5. So as you see right here, we're going to show the large amount of traps you can create, and enemies that try to get out of it will be knocked back into the trap.
So think line of war, or ring of war.
It's not actually a trap, but it's a threshold, same as static field or
Hammer 5.
Yeah, it'll be like a ring of warding. So here we're going to just beat up on spawn area a bit using longbow skills only. Get some pretty good damage on him at the start.
Oh. Was there a surprise ending at the end of that video?
I didn't win because I was like, I can't use anything but longbow skills. How am I going to... Anyway.
So what I really like about the longbow is actually a lot of really great interaction with the traits. And we'll get there eventually, but there's a lot of plus damage modifiers. For example, if a target has cripple, which you apply with the one skill there, that'll give you, I think it's 10% extra damage.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can do symbols have increased damage, or
I have that right here.
Well, we can't show them yet. Well, we'll get there.
We should do it.
Well, we're going to get there. We're going to go to traps. Traps first. So we're going to cover the... so this is basically your heal skill, all your utilities, and your elites.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to show kind of what they look like when they're set down. No, these effects are not exactly all there just yet. These are what your allies will see. Enemies will see nothing. They will see you setting the trap down. Can we pause the video for just a second here?
Nope.
No, we cannot? All right.
It's awkward.
Whew. All right, so the way the Guardian is going to use traps is going to have both a set and an arming time and an activation time. So if you use them like bombs, they're going to take it longer to hit your enemies. But if you preemptively set them, they're going to pop up and in a much faster rate.
Sure. So the first one here is
you're going to see Test of Faith. This is a threshold area where you. Oh, and now we're on to the second one.
You get it, Carl. You,
sorry about that.
So as a note, the video will loop when we get back to the beginning
we're gonna
here.
Go back.
But Carl, as you said earlier, we got to speed up and keep up with the video here, Carl.
All right,
and
so
as a reminder, we will be going and doing some live gameplay after
Yeah.
this, so we can show off some more stuff.
This
more
is new for us. All right, so Procession of Blades here. We're going to do a whirling spinning trap that
Spin to
deals
win.
damage. Yeah, basically your spin to win activates your Justice quite a lot. The next one is the Fragments of... Is this Fragments of Faith? Which one is this?
Life's Judgment.
Oh, Life's Judgment. There we go.
You can see it there in the top right.
Yes, there we go. I can't see that. All right, and this one is actually going to apply massive amounts of vulnerabilities to your target and reveal them. So anyone who has stealth...
Can you see how much vuln we got stacked up there?
Yeah, there's 25 stacks
So
each
20 stacks of instant vuln plus a reveal on trigger. So I know thieves already squirm when they see Guardians, but squirm even harder. You walk onto this thing and you're donezo.
It's actually one of the cooler like top down oh.
So I'll be actually using that in my build later.
Yeah.
What's this?
This is the elite ability called Dragon's Maw. You're going to lay a trap down, and it's going to pull enemies in and hold them there for a period of time. I think the threshold is kind of small, kind of large right now, so you see the golem almost run out and get knocked back. But
so it's kind of similar mechanics to what we saw with the Mesmer last week with the
well. Okay. It's going to pull them in and then hold them there. It also applies slow.
So we have Fragment of Faith here.
Fragment of Faith. This one's kind of fun. You're going to throw a trap down that it's basically going to be a shield that pops up and shatters, dealing damage to crippling enemies, and then allies can run over these fragments and pick up Aegis. So it's kind of encouraging allies to run in and actually fight in melee because they have
similar functionality, I guess, with like how you med packs. Right? You drop them on the ground, you run over, pick them up, and you get the bonus from them.
Yeah. There's only one trap we kind of missed, which was the Test of Faith.
Well, we'll be showing that in a live demo here in a little bit, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So anyways, you're talking about how the traps you throw them down, and then there's a period of time to where they actually trigger after they're actually
so you'll see you do the cast, and it takes like about a half a second to lay that trap actually into the ground, and then the trap appears, and then it takes about a half second to pop them up again.
So now, real quick on this one, which I think is really cool, is that on Test of Faith, it triggers once you go over the line.
Yes.
But it's kind of like Ring of Fire in that if you go over it multiple times, it'll trigger over and over and over again.
You will get multiple attacks.
So you can see there, you got the crit
knockback. They'll leave it, then you can knock them back into it. And there's a few different ways we can actually use knockbacks with the Dragonhunter.
Yeah. So Dragonhunter is really good at basically like territory control, right? Yeah. Like you put traps down, obviously you don't want to stand in it. Also, the amount of combos you can do with just thinking out loud, like Hammer 5, Ring of Warding, right? You got Dragon's Maw, which is going to lock someone down.
Yep.
And you've also got, what else am I thinking here? Oh, the Longbow 5. Like, just all those things combo together is just going to be a long amount of time to where you're just really kind of just stuck into a point where that Guardian can just kind of have his way with you.
I find that staggering the traps or like laying like trap combos out, like you put the Procession of Blades in there along with the Test of Faith, and it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to sit in the Test of Faith and not take the damage from leaving the threshold, or you're going to take the whirl damage from the Procession.
Yeah. So like comboing that with like Dragon's Maw, like locking them in place, and it's really awesome. Being able to get off combos with Hammer, even with just having them locked in there, is amazing.
We'll find some use with a few different knockback abilities.
So we've got you fighting Swanner here, and we won't judge too much. But this is going for looks like the full trap build, right?
Yeah, this is like full trapper, like seeing how much I can do with the knockbacks, and I've got the heal skills laid out there, and I didn't do a whole lot, but yeah.
Just some kind of examples of the gameplay mechanics here. So getting the traps down. Oh, that's actually a symbol there. And we're going to try to get your heal off here, which we're going to see trigger off. Now the that's actually a nice little heal.
That's a pretty decent heal.
Yeah. So how does that actually work? We'll show it off later, but
basically you're going to imbue your light into the ground, and then like when enemies trigger, you're going to pull it back to yourself, and you're going to blind enemies that are in the area, and you're going to use the light to heal yourself. So you basically preemptively like saying, I'm going to use this later.
Okay.
But
so you get the initial trigger on. You get the initial trigger when you lay down, right?
Yeah. So you get a small heal when you lay it down,
and then once you get the enemy that actually walks through it, it'll trigger the big heal.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice little combo there. So what do you do?
Yeah, and you can actually lay it down preemptively, and you can have two traps basically ready to go.
Carl, look at you take out these soldiers.
Yeah,
look at that.
Soldiers going
I want
down.
you on my team.
And then I was like, oh no, he put a swirling winds around me, and I could probably just stayed in here and use this ability, but I was like, I don't know. Don't ask me.
All right, you ready to show off some traits in game, Carl?
Yes.
Yes,
I am.
So let's jump over to Carl's camera here in game, and we're going to go through the traits one by one, and then we'll do some in-game demos. And obviously, I'm amazing, so it'll make everything really good.
I've been sitting here just messing around, trying to make some builds, and I kind of have a fun one that I'm looking at with Valor's Retributive Armor, making a Ferocity Toughness build. Working on it still. I like janky builds.
As interesting as those old traits are.
Yes.
I think our viewers are probably interested in these new ones.
All right, so let's talk about them. Your minor is the minor Adepts trait is going to actually change your virtues around. So as soon as you equip the Dragonhunter, you're going to have changed virtues. So you get your Spear of Justice, Wings of Resolve, Shield of Courage. First trait in the Adept area, Piercing Light. Traps, bleed enemies.
So
this has varying effects based on which traps you use. So if you use Procession of Blades, which does a ton of hits, you're going to get a lot of bleeding out.
So every single strike within a trap is going to apply a bleed. Okay, so the Spin to Win move that we saw earlier obviously would apply a lot.
Yeah, so we can do that right now, actually. There we go. We just got these icons, so I'm not really used to them yet. So yeah, stack up a lot of little bleeds there.
All right, I'll take it. 10 bleeds is not too bad.
It's pretty decent.
Condi Guardian. Carl, it's happening.
No.
Right before our eyes.
Oh.
It's happening right before our eyes, Carl.
All right, let's second one. We got Zealous Aggression. Deal extra damage to crippled enemies. This is kind of emphasis on using a lot of the good Dragonhunter abilities and seeing what you can do with that. If you're using Longbow, you can get your Puncture Shot. You get bonus damage to your enemies there.
Combo that thing with the True Shot.
First. There we go. There we go.
Combo it. Get that True Shot in there. Oh, big Demahe.
Yeah. I have, like I said,
you have no precision.
No precision. Like 7% chance to crit right now. Okay. So after that, we have Soaring Devastation. Wings of Resolve deliver an attack upon landing, and this attack actually immobilizes enemies as well. We're still working on the effects for this one, and we haven't actually got that hooked up yet. But some big damage, and it immobilizes. Gives you some extra cool stuff.
So you can use your wings kind of as an
use it
offensive
aggressively,
move, right?
Yeah.
So you get a little healing off. You can be supportive if you want, but it gives you an option to be. If you're like a meditation guardian, very DPS focused, you can still make use of that there.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the minor, the minor and major area. Defender's Dogmata. Blocking an attack causes Justice to reach its maximum charge. So we have your Justice that triggers once every 4 or 3 attacks, depending on what you have equipped, and then you burn an enemy. But if you block an attack, make this guy use this skill right here. It should recharge instantly, making it full, and your next attack burns.
Now there's no ICD on this, so you could
No
realistically just pop it off, and that the Spear of Justice ability stacks.
Yes.
Right. So if you get 2 of them, what's going to happen?
So let's actually. I'm gonna.
What's going to happen there, Carl?
What's going to happen?
What's going to happen when you have 2 spears at once?
When you have 2 spears, so let's say you equip the Radiance that ability that says Virtue of Justice is renewed when you kill a foe, and you get a couple of kills with a Desert, something like that. Your Justice is actually going to stack on enemies. So the more you throw it, the more stacked of Justice, the more burning you get on a target. It's pretty strong.
So there's 2 different ways to refresh your Justice there, then, right?
Yeah. So you can refresh it with Renewed Focus. You can refresh it with Renewed Justice. But the Defender's Dogma itself is actually going to refresh the charges that when your Virtue of Justice is off of recharge. So I think let's go on the last Grandmaster. Pure of Sight, deal bonus damage to enemies beyond the range threshold. So enemies. Yeah, it's basically you're going to do more damage the further away you are. So get a little bit more damage out of there. There's something I'm missing.
So between that and also the damage modifier you get from the cripple, like you actually have you can do some pretty decent damage with Longbow, especially with True
good
Shot.
long range. Damage.
Looking at True Shot here, just looking at my build over here, which is running a Carried Amulet, it's 1,500 damage on Tooltip, which is that's pretty good for a 4-second cooldown. Yeah.
All right, well, let's go on to the master traits, I guess.
All right, let's do it.
The Hunter's Determination gains stability for each enemy True Shot hits. So this is your Longbow trait in this particular area, and it's going to say that you spent the time to use True Shot, you're going to get stability for each enemy you strike. So a little bit of extra battle, like say you're more of a melee, or if you're receiving pressure, like it might be worth it to actually turn and fire off your true shot.
Now, true shot pierces by default.
Yeah, so you can get quite a bit of stability by just simply standing at medium range and getting your true shot and then going in with your.
Yeah, it sets up a nice little combo there.
Yeah,
so you can get stability stacks, you try to jump into melee range, and it's obviously much harder to get peeled off if you got stability. Yeah. So nice little combo there.
All right, Bulwark. Your Shield of Courage is larger and lasts longer. It's about a 2-second increase and a little bit of a distance increase here. The effects are not final still. But yeah, so we're working on that one as well. If you don't have it equipped, it looks about like this. There we go. It's a little bit smaller. So you get it goes from like a 180 distance to a 240. It's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
All right. Bold Senses. Enemies you knock back are crippled. So this is actually a good one for if you have like a shield equipped. If you want to like knock back, you get a little cripple effect out of that. If you knock enemies back with your Hunter's Ward, which the Hunter's Ward itself applies a lot of cripple.
So think of this. So if you're using Zealot's Aggression, which is the 10% damage to crippled enemies, if you ring them with the Hammer 5, and then go and get the knockback onto them,
you're gonna get more of that.
You can basically line up for that burst combo with an extra 10% damage.
Yeah.
So basically, these elite specializations actually pair really well with existing specializations. They're not meant to be their own standalone thing, but they also incorporate elements from other lines and other weapons.
Yeah. So I guess that covers it for the Master line. Let's go on to the Grandmaster line.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So we have Hunter's Fortification, applying a protection in an area when activating a virtue. This one is, I think we're changing this one around, but right now it's just your sort of if you're in the back lines or if you're in the front lines, protection is always good. And this is sort of redundant with a couple of other traits. So I think this one might be changing a bit.
The actual the full functionality of it?
No, the protection itself, maybe not the boons part of it, but it's one of those things we're constantly looking at. Let's see the next one. I think. Yeah. Heavy Light.
Man.
Let's talk about Big Game.
We got to do it. You already talked about it.
All right, we talked about it before.
We're here.
Heavy Light. This is actually a really fun one. This kind of makes you a little bit more of a skirmishy longbow user. So longbow, Heavy Light says longbow arrow attacks knock back enemies that are within the range threshold. So if your enemies are within a certain threshold, like 300, your first attack on them, it's going to knock them back. This has a pretty low cooldown, so you can kind of, if you have your Dulled Senses and your Zealot's Aggression equipped, you can actually move into range and get a little knockback and cripple off against them.
And the important thing to mention, or to note though, is it's longbow arrows.
Yeah, longbow arrows. So your arrows, puncture shot, true shot, and deflecting shot. Your symbol doesn't. The symbol of energy doesn't. The projectile doesn't actually hit, so it's not going to knock them back.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so anything that's like a targeted projectile attack, will knock them back.
So it doesn't work like it's. I wouldn't really suggest trying to stand toe to toe with somebody and fight with a longbow. It's not as good for you for your health.
Yeah, I mean obviously if you have the ability to be
defensive mechanisms.
Yeah, if you have the ability to be at range, obviously you can stay at range as much as possible.
But if you need to say lay down the test of faith and you have that like on top of yourself and you're fighting with it. Let me actually get the trigger. Yeah, we were doing this yesterday and I was like, I'm doing this all wrong, but you can actually knock enemies through your test of faith with Heavy Light. And it works pretty well to combo it.
Yeah. Again, it's really good for kind of zone control for, you put those traps down. You don't want to stand on them.
Yeah. But it's good for fighting around the traps and just kind of generally controlling the battlefield a little bit. Somebody's on your ally and you're like, get them off! And you knock them back a little bit. So
we got one more.
One more. Big Game Hunter. Striking the enemy tethered by your Spear of Justice causes vulnerability and increases damage dealt. So
I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So basically, if you tether an enemy with your Spear of Justice, you're going to deal increased damage to them. In addition, all of your attacks outgoing will apply vulnerability, so you're going to increase your allies' damage to them as well. So throw that spear, teleport in, give them a good Zealot's defense. I'm sure that's a defensive move, and get a lot of vulnerability on them.
Yeah, I mean, Guardian's definitely got a lot of sources of Vuln now, especially between that and Light's Judgment. Like, sitting, especially in like PvE, sitting at full stacks of Vuln is not going to be difficult at all with the Guardian in the group.
Yeah, it's a lot of, there's a lot, so armor of the Light's Judgment here, it's going to be a little bit niche, I think, because it's going to, its vulnerability is short-lived. So it's not, it's kind of a spike style of trap, and you're not going to be able to use it quite nearly as often as you would, so it's got a 45-second cooldown, as you would be able to use, like, say, your Justice with refreshing your Justice often.
Sure.
So that's that. Yeah, and that's probably one of my favorite traits to just play with, because you're like, oh, my Spear of Justice is up. Let me throw that thing real quick and get a ton of damage.
Yeah, so, like, when you guys were making these trait lines here, like, what was the idea? So we talked before about how, like, traits should have, like, each tier of trait should have different purposes, right? Like, it shouldn't always just be all 3 damage traits in a line. So when you're looking at the Dragonhunter here, like, what is his role? Obviously, Longbow, it seems like a lot of damage-oriented traits, but it looks like there's some support here as well.
Yes. The roles are basically to help kind of fill a backline or support role, but I mean, obviously, all of these can be taken into an aggressive role. So, if you're equipping like other weapons, like a great sword or something like that, you're not going to be left out. You're going to have something you can use with the Dragonhunter specialization, and so we want to do affect all the virtues. So we have Soaring, Devastation, Bulwark, and Big Game Hunter. So that's all the virtue traits. We have something that affects Longbow in a couple places, and it's something that benefits the Longbow itself as well. And in addition to all the other style things.
I was thinking
you're different question.
Well, I was going to say Soaring Devastation to me when I first looked at it seemed like a very DPS focused trait, but it's actually great for support as well. Like, especially PvP, like being able to leap in and peel for an ally with 3-second immobilize is going to be huge. Especially since you jump in and you do that heal still. Like, it's not replacing the passive effect of it. It's just
you're just going to, in addition to, you're going to deliver an attack into the air. Ooh. So that effect is not very convincing just yet. We're getting there though.
Yeah. I feel like I have to repeat this every time we're on live stream, but just a reminder, these are all still in development right now. Like, we're still working on this stuff. They will continue to get more polished as we go on. I think the basics, like the mechanics, are all there pretty much right now.
Yeah.
So, things will definitely be undergoing balance passes as we go forward.
Yeah, and we're continuing to polish. I got a ton of effects in today that I'm going to go hook up right after we get done with this. Yep. So I'm pretty excited about this specialization.
So I promised at the beginning of the video, the beginning of the show, that we would show off Tirza's build, the Tirzanator, pretty much like the best guardian we've got in the building. And so I've got a little build here. We're just going to do a little demo of it real quick here. It's a kind of a hybrid build. It's using Carrion Amulet. So it's going to be a power/condition hybrid build. And I'm not going to use I'm not going to be using full traps here. Because again, while this is the new hotness, but there's definitely you're going to want to pull elements from every different kind of specialization. So you guys can see my traits here. I'll just kind of hover them over real quick for you guys. So with Zeal, we've got this stuff going on. Just so you guys know.
It's a Zeal Radiance Dragonhunter.
All right, so specifically within Dragonhunter, I want Piercing Light for those condies. I'm going to take, this one I'm a little iffy on. I'm not sure which one I want here.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take Hunter's Determination.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
It's pretty good because you can oftentimes, like, if you hit with your true shot, you're not going to get overcharge shotted back.
Although it depends. If Bulwark still absorbs all attacks as a block, then I probably want that, because my build definitely gives a lot of benefit from blocking because I get burning stacks.
You don't have a lot of toughness though.
That's true. It's true. I don't need it. If you don't take any damage, you don't need it. And obviously, my final trait here is going to be Big Game Hunter, which is going to give me the damage increase for anything.
What amulet set you got?
So right now I'm running Carrion, and I'm running
a Carrion amulet, huh?
Yeah, running Carrion amulet. Not super meta right now, although the meta is changing at an alarming rate, my friends, and it will continue to do so as we get closer to Heart of Thorns. So running Mace, Focus, and Longbow.
Yeah.
So anyways, what I'm going to do here, just kind of give an explanation, and hopefully I don't mess it up. That'd be really embarrassing if I mess up.
What's the theme of this?
Yeah, so I'm going to lay down 2 of my traps. So I've got, I'm going to put down Light's Judgment, which is going to give me the 25 stacks of Vuln, which is going to allow me to do a lot of physical damage, because again, I still have a lot of power. I'm also going to put down my Dragon's Maw, which is just going to... This is optional.
You're going to change that earlier.
We talked about a little bit earlier. So the idea of the build here is that I'm going to put down my initial trap here with the, as I forget the name already, Light's Judgment.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring him into me by using my longbow skills. I'm going to try to draw the aggro. I'm going to be using a lot of blocks for my focus and my mace. It's going to apply burning to Chieftain quite a bit.
Yes.
Now, using Dragon's Maw seems kind of weird.
A little bit redundant.
Yeah, because basically any time that he's attacking slower or CC'd is time that he's not hitting me and not proccing burns, right?
Yeah, so
I'm going to lay it down both at the same time because I like how much control there is, and it's kind of fun, but I can do it either way. Like, we can reset it. So I'm going to attempt now to not mess everything up. So I'm again going to pop down both my traps here. I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead with my Spear of Justice to get the start building vulnerability and also the burning. I'm going to pop down my my number 4, so it's going to be Symbol of Energy, just get a little early damage and burning on him. I'm immediately going to follow up with Deflecting Shot because, I don't know if you guys know this, but Chieftain throws out a little axe and tries to pull you in. So
I think it's a wrench or a bolas or
it's like,
I don't know, something.
Yeah, it's like a bola thing. So he's going to throw that out there, try to pull me in. I'm just going to try to negate that right off the bat because I definitely don't want to get hit in the face by that thing. And then we'll lead back in there with a True Shot and then just get some really damage onto him. By then he should be on my face, and then I'm going to pop over and probably pop my Focus 5. Gets the symbols down and just face tank him while I burst him down with Condi damage and my physical damage.
And if you need to, you have Shelter, which now burns enemies when they block because of your traits.
Absolutely. All right,
there you go.
Gonna lead off with this guy. Go here. Gonna throw that out.
Oh yeah, there you go. You got it.
All right, gonna put my symbols down, and right now we're blocking, and boom.
And there he goes.
Look at that.
There we go.
Look at that.
It's pretty quick spawner, Carol, gotta say.
It's a Condi power hybrid.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Tears' build. Tears is a pretty good theory crafter, but we were playing around with yours. You had the Zerker setup there, which is pretty nice. So
the Zerker setup was working pretty well. I was using Procession of Blades, which is the whirl trap, throwing a bunch of swords around there, and it does pretty good power damage. Also, the Dragon's Maw hits really hard.
Yeah. So I'm going to wait for a Chieftain to come back, and then I'm actually going to try it without the Dragon's Maw next time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just to see if we can get a little bit more attack somebody, just try to take up that burning a little bit faster.
All right.
But that would be the extent of my demo.
All right.
I don't know if would you have anything else you'd like to show off?
No, I think we got, I'm still working on my builds, honestly. I'm making something with
if you want to hook you up with Tirza for some theory crafting.
Yes. Tirza and I theory craft quite a bit.
Okay.
Every now and then.
I know. Tirza's the boss.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can go back in the game here, Mark. Chieftain should be spawning here. There he is. All right. So we're going to try it again. We're going to do it this time without Dragon's Maw, so no CC. It'll be strictly my Light's Judgment. You know, I could even put down some other traps.
Yeah, are you using...
So I didn't actually use Smite Condition or Judge's Intervention last time because I didn't need to. How about
I think a pretty sweet combo is actually going to be like Judge's Intervention with Dragon Maw. It might be kind of a fun
there's
thing
a lot of combos with just the control we talked about earlier, like thinking Ring of Warding with Dragon's Maw, also with Longbow 5. I don't even know how you would do it. Like, would you lead in? I guess you would lead in with your Longbow 5 to lock them in place, and then probably switch to Hammer, Judges in with your Ring, and then while you got them locked in the ring, probably pop off the Dragon's Maw, and you've got them locked down for 12 seconds.
It's about 12. A little bit longer than 12.
Yeah.
You
got them locked in all day. By the time they're out of the ring, respawns.
Stability is a good
cooldowns,
thing
rather.
Against this guy. Like, I would say stability and actually blocking is pretty nice because you block a True Shot or a Deflecting Shot, and they have a lot less defense.
So I think I'm going to do, I'll do Procession of Blades because it's going to give me some of that Condi, right? And I'll just repop my Light's Judgment, and then I'll try to pull him in this way. So again, I'm going to lead with my Spear of Justice, then I'll follow with the symbol. I'll block his projectile. He's thrown out to pull me in, and then I'll hit him with True Shot, swap weapons.
Don't mess it up.
I know. I forgot to do the thing.
You're going to get hit.
Oh, I don't have a dodge on this one. Get the symbol down.
Oh, you're doing good, though.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone noticed there, but even with my, there was a number of mess-ups there. I had a decent bit of Condis on him. I had, I think, like 15 bleeds on him because of Procession of Blades.
Yeah,
and I also had
and Light.
And I also had a decent bit of burning on him there as well from the blocks. So, Condi Guardian, it's a thing. Prepare yourselves. All right, cool. I think we have sufficiently showed off everything that is the Dragonhunter.
Yeah, I think I think to reiterate is that while you have the Dragonhunter equipped, your virtue passive effects are still in place. Just wanted to go back over that again. You're not going to lose your passives. The virtues line is fully functional with the Dragonhunter line, and so I know there's like an icon here that's kind of misleading it right now. But
two things. Actually, two things real quick that we forgot to mention. So first of all, we didn't actually show the tooltip for purification.
Oh yeah.
So let's hop back into my screen real quick here. And so there's the because I know you guys love tooltips. Here's the tooltip for the trap heal. As we mentioned, the initial heal pops off when you lay the trap down, and then once it's triggered, you'll get the additional healing there, and it also procs out the AOA blind.
Yes.
The other thing that we mentioned, if you actually want to jump over to Carl's screen, don't move anything.
I won't.
We can jump over to Carl's screen real quick here. So if you look at the bottom there, see those cool trait icons?
Yeah.
So everything will be like that eventually.
Yes.
Okay, so I know we mentioned before, but we didn't talk about it specifically today. But this is basically
icons for each one of each trait.
Yeah, so this is the vision of the future. Is they'll no longer be the Roman numerals. They will actually have their own individual icons for each and every trait, which I think is pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that wraps everything up.
Think so?
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Carl.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty fun.
Again, yeah, that's Dragonhunter in a nutshell.